What is it?
Nothing, Arya. Hey, everybody. Bandicoot Commando here, and welcome back to Multiverses. Last time,
Choose a character.
I did a little showing off with the ghost with the most, Beetlejuice. I'm also feeling a little better, so I can't wait to do him again someday with my voice now all better, because I just wasn't feeling my best yesterday with sickness. So, today, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's about 10 characters. I mean, soon to be more, depending on what we get later down the line. But there are 10 characters who I don't really use for online. Well, I'll use them in the rifts, but I don't use them online. But I gotta use them here to kind of demonstrate what they're like and all that sort of stuff. Let me check what's in the store. Did I just level this up? I guess not. Okay. Well, that's some XP for it. And, okay, it's good. Yeah, that's where I'm at on the battle pass. So yeah, we are going to do Arya Stark. Probably won't be able to do that many matches because I don't have a lot of the skins for her, and the same goes to some of the other characters I really don't use. I don't have a lot of their skins either, so these will probably be a bit shorter, but I will try to put them on long enough in order to give a good demonstration of what they are and, of course, explain who they are. Alrighty, let's begin, I guess.
Yes, I'm listening. Made my list.
Okay, people, so for starters, I forgot to show the beginning part of this match because I was too focused, and I did get knocked out early. I just lost this fight. We'll get to that, but Arya Stark here, protagonist of A Game of Thrones. The first novel series of A Song of Fire and Ice, done by George R.R. Martin. Premiered as early in 1996. A Game of Thrones would be the third. Or no, it was the first. He still plans on trying to finishing it. He's got 7, and he's only got 2 left to do. The Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring. But that's not what's important. What's important is Game of Thrones here. Arya, the third child of Lord Eddard and Lady Catelyn Stark, the monarchs of House Stark and rulers of the North. That said, Arya didn't really like living the privileged life of being a lady, a noble lady. But her father was murdered, and then her family was then deposed of. Arya would then travel throughout the land of Westeros, and would find a member, and would become a member of a guild of assassins known as the Faceless Men. I could go into more, but I'm not well versed into Game of Thrones, so there's really not much more I can say or do. So let's just get down to her moveset. Arya's neutral attack is a straightforward thrust. A very straightforward thrust with her sword. Think like Marth or Lucina's neutral special. Like that, see? Except, unlike theirs, I don't think there's like a sweet spot to her attack. Still does some good damage, though. Her side attack is just a simple, like, little slash with her sword. She also uses a butcher knife. Well, I say butcher knife, but I think knife would just a slash with her sword. still pretty damaging it does. Her up attack is an upward swing, and it is chargeable, so it does good damage to it. Her down attack is that, depending on which direction she is facing, real quick, this is simply known as, what was it, cosplay? Oh, Summer Vacay. Summer Vacay Arya. It's just original to this game. It's meant to be the beach-ready skin. Pretty silly. It's funny that her weapon, her sword's like a fake inflatable kind, but she still uses a real knife. Anyway, her down attack, as I was going to get to, depending on the direction Arya is facing, what she will do is that if you're facing in the direction she is facing and you press down, she will roll in that direction, and then she will get up and turn around and quickly slash behind the opponent's back. It's pretty... It's a good way to throw people off guard. But it is a little short range, so you gotta do it when you're decently close enough. But on 1v1s, people are always going to wanna be on the move, so your chances of hitting are a little small. But it helps. But sometimes it can be a bit of a burden. The air versions of the moves, her neutral, which I've been doing there a few times, she will thrust down her knife and twirl it around. It's pretty good to disrupt and get some damage in. Her side air is a forward slash, which can be charged. Her up, I believe, is a... yeah, it's a swing, and I think it also can be charged. Her down air is a thrust downwards, and it can be charged. Like, all of her air attacks can be charged. For her special attacks, for her neutral... oh, actually, her up can't be charged. I thought it could, but it can't. She just does a few quick swings, upward swings. But for her neutral special, Arya will sort of do this, I guess you can call it a grab. But what it will do is when you use it on either opponents or your ally in 2v2s, she will gain their face. And what this will do is that when you press the special button again, you will be able to temporarily transform into that character, and you will randomly do one of their attacks. I don't know if there's a trick to it. Like, I feel like, oh, if you hold it down, you do this attack, but if you just tap it, you do this attack. And the same goes when you use the air variations. I don't know if there's a gimmick to that or not, since I don't use Arya enough to know, but since if you plan on wanting to use Arya, be sure to look up and figure out, like, which attacks and specials. Like, see, when I used it, she was trying to use Jake's down attack. So be sure to look up to find out, like, which attack she will use specifically. And there it is. I did it. I pulled it off. The only reason I'm able to do it, mostly, is because I have a perk. I'm using the perk where when you knock an opponent out, you automatically gain their face. For her side special, it's a 2-for-1. For the initial part of her side, Arya will throw a knife, and it will attach to either the ground, the wall, an enemy, an ally, to something. If you press side special again, Arya will dash to that knife if it's still there and it hasn't disappeared yet. See? Just like that. Now, once you have used it or lose it, the knife needs to recharge. So, if you input the side special again, Arya will do like a sort of spinning corkscrew kind of attack into the enemy with purple aura. And we all know purple aura is always a good thing. It's also critical hit inclusive too. For her up special, Arya just does like an upwards slash, a rising slash with the knife.
Yes, an
It's just,
excellent victory.
it's pretty simple and standard. Doesn't even do that much damage. This costume. This is known as the water dancing costume. It was what she wore in the Game of Thrones show. She wore this when she was training and learning the water dancing sword techniques. I will say, this guy just decided to give up.
Match point
Yeah,
blue.
he just flat up gave up on me.
Yes,
I hate it when
an
people just
excellent
give up.
victory.
It wastes my time, and it doesn't give you enough XP. And he didn't want a rematch, of course. This guy I lost to.
Dodge this.
For Arya's down special, she will take a moment to sharpen both her sword and her knife. But what this will do is that it will grant her purple aura on her hands, and any attack she does, well, it has purple aura. And the same, I believe, goes to allies if you use it near allies. The air versions of the moves are the same. All in all, Arya's a pretty, like, I don't want to say straightforward kind of character, but
Our stories
she's
are
highly difficult because in terms of her ability, she does a lot of damage. She's a very high damaging character, but the problem is that she's pretty easy to launch. She's a little frail. A glass cannon, yes. And she just doesn't really have much variety to some of her moves. It also doesn't help that out of her specials, only one of them actually has a variation when it's recharging. The down special has nothing when it's recharging. And plus, you know, she already can use her side special with purple aura. Oh, another thing with Arya, I believe, is that she is able to, if she can score hits behind the opponent, they take extra damage. I just want to point, look at him. He's just standing there waiting. He knows what he's doing. And here I am trying to get the platforms raised up because I know what that bastard was up to. Anything else? See the backstab thing. Yeah, I think that's all I can really go over for Arya, because, again, I don't use her that much. One thing I will say, though, is that, due to this recent patch, they actually made some changes. I didn't really go over them when I was doing Beetlejuice, but I noticed some of them, though. One of them is that able to tech is in this game now, which is surprising to me because, I mean, I feel like it was fine without it, but still. They also reclassed some characters. Some characters now have a different role classification. So, for example, Morty is now considered a mage, no longer a bruiser. Likewise, Marvin is no longer an assassin. He is a mage. And finally, Taz is considered an assassin and not a bruiser. It's all very strange. But I'm sure we'll all get used to these changes over time. And besides, in Marvin's case, Marvin was meant to be a mage when he was being developed and everything, so it just came back around. It's for all we know, Batman might go back to being assigned to an assassin like he was supposed to, and Superman might go back to being assigned to a bruiser like they wanted to. Who knows? But this at least confirms that, yeah, if they want to, they will change the roles when necessary. Well, that's all I'm going to say for Arya, because, again, I don't play her enough to understand these things, and I just don't really, I hardly know a lick of Game of Thrones. I just know, however... Oh, actually, wait, what am I saying? There's one more thing I need to mention with Arya. Another passive ability of hers. The pies. Anytime you knock out an opponent, a pie will drop in. If the opponent runs over it, they will not only be healed, but they will also be inflicted with the slow debuff. Now, here's the... You want to know the thing about it, though? The thing with this pie? It's, it's a reference to a scene in the show where basically, oh man, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it.
I'll end you with a chicken bone.
Okay, so this comes from the finale of season 6, where, disguised as a servant woman, Arya serves a pie, a meat pie, to Waiter Frey. Waiter Frey, I believe, was either like her target or just something. But to make it extra ironic, she, the meat in the pie comes from the guy's children, both of his sons. But like I said, though, it's really twisted, okay? Like, I can't really explain it. I don't really know it well enough. That's just how it is, okay? Just hold on. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna bother. So, yeah, it's a bit disturbing. Especially if you actually know the context. And once I figured out the context, once I learned about it, yeah, it is rather twisted. It'd be easier if they just simply said, oh, she likes making pies, that's all. No. No, it's because it's filled with humans. Or human remains. I really shouldn't be saying this stuff. Well, just enjoy the rest of the video. See you guys at the end of the video.
Yes, an excellent victory. It's time for us to play the game of faces. say to the many-faced god?
You know how much paperwork I gotta do when I die?
Don't underestimate me.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
You just made my list.
Screw this up, I'll eat you.
Yes! An excellent victory.
Well, alrighty, everyone. That was my matches with Arya Stark here. All in all, as I stated, a very high-tier character if you can get her moves down pretty well. I'm just a bit rusty with her because I don't use her against other players. I use her for the Rift matches though sometimes to level her up because, again, I want everyone to be at max level eventually. Alrighty then, that'll do for that episode of Multiverses. Join me next time as we
Choose a character.
do Batman. Do some matches with some Batman here. The man himself. That is it, and I will see you guys next time.
Make this quick.